Could something as simple as just spending some time writing every morning change your life? That is the premise of morning pages, a simple habit that is said to be therapeutic, help clear your mind, help with creativity, and just overall give you an excellent start into the day. That sounds intriguing, and since I'm doing a series of experiments that is all about living a better life, I thought I'd give it a go. For the last 7 days, I've been following the Morning Pages exercise every single day. So first, what exactly is this? Morning Pages is an exercise that is part of the Artist's Way, a program created by Julia Cameron for creatives. But this specific part, the Morning Pages exercise, has kind of taken on a life of its own and spread across the internet like wildfire. The description on the original website is as simple as can be. It simply states that what you should do is in the morning sit down and write 3 pages of whatever is on your mind. And that's it. You just sit and write and you don't stop writing until you have 3 pages. And the one factor that is the most important, the most emphasized factor here is that you're not writing for anyone else. So you shouldn't be worried about writing something that's really smart or brilliant or well written or beautiful handwriting. You shouldn't care about any of that stuff. You're not writing for an audience. You're simply writing for yourself. So let's give this a shot. On the first day, I got up and I did my usual morning routine, which already includes some writing. I do some gratitude writing. So the thing that was most convenient for me was to just slot in the morning writing in my existing morning routine along with my other writing exercises. That also meant that I was doing my writing with typing on my laptop because that's where I do all my other writing exercises, and that's how I usually start my day. That's what I was doing for the first 2 days, but I could tell that something was off. This Morning Pages exercise is supposed to be sometimes challenging, sometimes insightful, but it's supposed to be potentially life-changing. And I felt like I was sitting there doing the exercise kind of waiting for the fireworks. And most of the time it basically felt forced. Yes, I was doing my writing and I kept writing because I felt, well, I have to do the exercise, but it felt forced. It felt like it wasn't like nothing was coming out of me and nothing was happening. So I went back to do some more research to see how I could further improve what I was doing. I came across a lot of interesting guidance made by people who have experience with Morning Pages. And I came across this article by Chris Winfield that goes into a lot of detail on how exactly to do the Morning Pages. One of the things I learned from that is you're really supposed to do it handwritten and not typing. Now, I generally avoid paper. I'm very used to doing everything with typing, but Chris makes the point that the very fact that handwriting is slower and maybe feels more frustrating than typing is actually a good thing because it's supposed to make your writing more deliberate. So that's the first change I made. In the following days, instead of typing on my computer, I sat down and I did it as handwritten notes. And I used a tablet as well as actual pen and paper to do this, just to see if that would make a difference. And I have to admit, although I'm really not used to handwriting and I'm not a fan of it, I have to admit that actual pen and paper feels best. I don't know why, but somehow it does feel better to write with pen and paper. Having said that, although this did feel like a minor improvement, I still wasn't feeling it. Like, I still felt I was forcing it. And let me at this point also say another thing I learned from my research into this is that if you have that feeling of I have nothing to write about, then you can write about that. So it's perfectly fine to sit down and write, I don't know what to write right now, this exercise is stupid, nothing is happening. So whatever comes to mind, that's what you write about. And so that's what I did at times, but still it felt like I wasn't getting through to anything else. It still felt like I was just going through the motions and nothing was happening. So at this point, I'm almost a week into the exercise and basically I have experienced no benefit. And let me just take a moment to say that that's perfectly fine. I mean, this is an experiment and trying things that don't always work is perfectly fine. So I wasn't discouraged and I just was looking for further ways to try to get some benefit out of it or learn how to do this better. Which brings me back to Chris Winfield's article, where he says you really should do it very first thing in the morning. He writes, you write in the morning because that's when the veil of the ego is said to be the thinnest. It's almost as if your ego needs extra time to wake up and start with all of its demands for the day. Take advantage of this. That's an interesting idea, and I hadn't tried that. See, usually I would get up in the morning and I would shower and brush my teeth and do all that before I would start writing. So I thought, okay, well, let's try that out. Let's really do it the very first thing in the morning before I'm even properly awake.
Rise and shine. It's writing time.
Are you serious, dude?
Go on.
After experimenting with the morning pages exercise for 1 week, here's what I found. The various tweaks I made over the course of the week to try and improve the exercise, I can say that it does seem that they made a difference. And I can also say that I had some good writing sessions, as in sometimes I was writing and I filled my 3 pages and it felt like, yes, this feels good. It feels useful maybe even. But at the end of the day, I didn't really feel any real strong benefit. I don't feel like it helped with my creativity. I don't feel like I gained clarity of mind. Basically, there's no real benefit I can point to here. But here's an important caveat. There's no real benefit I can point to compared to the kind of introspective writing I'm already doing. Now, this might surprise you to hear because I just told you about how this thing doesn't work for me, but I do actually believe that this kind of writing that is introspective and expressive and not for any audience, just for your own development, I do believe that this is potentially life-changing. And I say that because I have done this kind of writing in various forms for many, many years, and I consider it one of my most valuable self-development tools. So what I was looking for is, I was trying to find out, is specifically doing the morning pages, is there some benefit there that I could get beyond what I've already experienced with introspective writing? And for me, the answer was no. But that doesn't take away from the value of introspective writing as an exercise overall. In fact, it may be my habit of introspective writing that's almost like getting in the way of me getting a benefit out of morning pages. When I sit down to write in the morning, there aren't big things on my mind that I need to process. There aren't things that I need to get off my chest because I've already gotten those things off my chest the day before whenever something comes up, right? I write whenever something is on my mind to gain clarity, or whenever I feel like I have something emotional to process. It's like I write right away. I don't wait for the next morning. So despite my results with this specific exercise, I totally understand why some people say that this is a life-changing and amazing habit. And I would recommend that you try it out, especially if you don't do any other introspective writing. It's one of these things that basically costs you nothing except a little bit of time. And what I also hope you can get from this experiment here is, I mean, it's perfectly fine to try something out and just see what happens. Like I was saying, I was kind of hoping for fireworks. I was hoping something spectacular would happen, but it's perfectly fine that it didn't. Personal development is a long-term game, and trying things that don't work out and tweaking things until they do work is just part of that game. And this is only one of many experiments like this that I'm doing. So subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and leave a comment to let me know. Have you tried morning pages? Have you experienced something really beneficial, or was it nothing for you too? Let me know by leaving a comment below, and I'll see you in the next one.